So today is a special day. I'm going to use System Restore. If you watched one of my prior videos, I tried to upgrade the Windows 7 rig, that's the host computer for this virtual machine, and that didn't work. But I was able to save the hard drives and get all my files off of it, including the virtual hard drive for this Windows Millennium virtual machine. The problem is, since that's happened, I've run into this situation where Word will just crash randomly probably at least once an hour, and it just wipes my progress that I've made in writing. Now, it hasn't corrupted any of my files, and as long as I hit save every 10 seconds, it'll be fine, but I don't feel like doing that. So we're actually going to use System Restore. I mentioned that I've only ever used this once successfully, and hopefully we're going to do it twice. But actually, before we do that, we're going to back up all of our documents. In theory, you don't have to do this because System Restore shouldn't mess with your documents folder, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to create a new folder called WinME Backup. And we're just going to copy the entire My Documents folder, paste it in here. I could also make a backup copy of the Windows Millennium virtual hard drive, and that would let me restore the entire Windows Millennium computer as opposed to just individual files. But the hard drive is 8 gigabytes, and I don't feel like having a bunch of 8 gigabyte save files. Now that we have a backup copy, I can go ahead and do the System Restore. Let's do this together. I have no idea if this will work or if this will succeed. Now, luckily, this makes backups all the time. So I believe the crash happened after Thanksgiving. I think. Actually, you know what? I can find out. Let's open up my word count. It is blank because oh wait, yeah, okay, never mind. I erased it. The word counter's gone forever. I think April 22nd, or November 22nd. Let's back up to there. Save and close all files. Okay. See, this will not cause you to lose recent work. It's completely reversible. If this fails, what we're going to do is just uninstall and reinstall Word 97. I don't want to have to do that because it'll blank out all my progress. But we're just going to do a really quick writing session. See if this works. Your computer can... Great, okay. Thank you. Is there a particular reason why not? Let's try using a different restore point. It was definitely after Thanksgiving. It was definitely Black Friday or later. Well, okay. To restart System Restore, click Home. What? Well, what do you mean it can't protect my... Then what does it do? Oh. What? Alright, let's try this one. Let's try Friday. Okay, well, I haven't even logged in yet, so... I was not expecting this to happen. I don't know what the point of System Restore is. Okay, alright. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. No changes have been made to your computer. System Restore is not able to protect your computer. Okay, well... Well, then what does System Restore do again? October 23rd, that was forever ago. What's the point of this if it doesn't work? Windows Millennium. No, I know there's another option, and the other option is to just use Windows 11. I have LibreOffice or OpenOffice, one of the two. That would solve all the word problems. Okay, so this doesn't work. Thank you. Appreciate it. I even organized my icons. They're really cool. I expanded the resolution. Alright, that didn't work, so guess what we're gonna do? Wait, where's... What was that? I didn't even click anything. I guess we're gonna add removed programs. Please... I want to uninstall it. I really need the disk. Okay. Okay. Fine. And of course, since this laptop was manufactured after the Obama administration, it doesn't have a disk drive. So if I go to Explorer, compact disk, please insert a disk. Okay. I did insert a disk. Why aren't you recognizing it? So the host computer recognizes that I have the Office 97 installed. Optical... Oh, is it USB? Oh. I hate everything about this right now. I can't even get the disk to recognize. Alright. We're just gonna use an ISO. I don't know why that wasn't working, but here we go. Add remove programs. I have the disk! I told you I had it! Here we go. Repeat the last installation to restore missing files and settings. Let's do that. I really want Office 97 because I want my superhero dog. I don't want to have to write anything without the superhero. I need the superhero dog. Okay. So that should be fine. We go back to my... What the heck is all this crap? Wait, what is this? Setup for Microsoft what? Setup for Microsoft Internet Explorer 3.1. 3.01, excuse me. Yeah, maybe later. We'll mess with that. Okay, so... I'm the Office... Oh! It blanked his memory. So what I've done here is have all the chapters. I cut some chapters out and I combined some. That's why you see it go directly from chapter 3 to 5. The parentheses numbers, that's the word count per chapter. I'd like to keep everything at 2,000 words. With notes. Actually, I'll show you. There you go. So I have some grayed out notes. This is before I've actually written the chapter. Just to help me get a feel for what I want the chapter to say. I haven't even started writing it. I just wrote a synopsis of what the chapter is going to be, and I can already tell half of this stuff is gone because I've already changed the plot since chapter 14. We'll see if this actually fixed the problem. Oh, actually, no. One more thing. What the hell does that mean? Okay. Is it because I installed something? Alright, restart. Oh, this stupid thing. Alright, how do I get rid of this again? You cannot hide this toolbar. There must be... Well, no, there doesn't. Exit. Do you want the Office? No, I don't. I'm quite capable of going to a document and opening it. I promise. Alright, now let's actually get System Tools to work. Or System Restore, excuse me. Okay, now it works. Well, I don't want to restore to an earlier time because I just tried to fix Word, so let's just create a restore point. New restore point, okay. Now, let's see if I can restore to that point. So what we'll do is we'll restart. I noticed the sound isn't like crackling when it plays the startup and shutdown. I don't know what I did to fix that, but it was always crackling. Like it's too loud and you've reached the limits of the speaker and it just starts breaking up. Yeah, that's weird. It doesn't do that anymore. Now, the other problem with this plan is I have not created any way to test if this restore actually did anything because I've done nothing since creating the restore point. This is taking an awful long time. Okay, so in an effort to try to resolve the problem with word crashing randomly, I have managed to break system restore and fix the crackling in the startup and shutdown chimes. The jury's still out on whether I've actually fixed the Microsoft Office problem. You ever get the feeling where nothing is happening and you feel like there's a button you're supposed to click that you can't find, and that's why nothing's happening? I'm starting to think I probably should have made a backup of the virtual hard drive before I did this. Oh wait, no, I have a backup from like 3 weeks ago. Somewhere on a hard drive somewhere. Okay, there we go. Allegedly. Okay, when I see like a DOS prompt text flashing for a split second, that's when I get worried. The real winning move is that I backed up the My Documents folder before I started doing it. What? Okay. Alright, you're all racist. Confirmed. What does that even do? I'm gonna restart it one more time and see if those errors were just a side effect of the system restore. Yeah, the sound works perfectly now. This is beautiful. Okay, no random DLL errors. Will protect, disable system restore. We might as well disable it if it doesn't work. Alright, fine, I'll restart. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since we reinstalled Microsoft Office. And I think we're just gonna go ahead and see if it works. Normally, within the hour, Word would crash. So I think if I can get through this writing session without a crash, then we fix the problem. And this is really... This was my experience with Windows Millennium Edition. Over time, it just got more and more unstable to the point where I have to reinstall the operating system. And that's been a problem for Windows operating systems. I had that with XP and Windows Vista. My God, Windows Vista. But it wasn't until Windows 7 where I stopped having to reinstall the operating system every few months. Without giving too many spoilers, the purpose of this story is you have this generic fantasy adventure with your stereotypical heroes, your, fighter, mage, thief, etc. But kind of shifting to the point of view of the nameless mobs that the heroes just slaughter. If you've ever played an RPG video game, I'm talking about the random encounters where, oh my god, 2 kobolds show up and you just destroy them, absolutely obliterate them, and they just disappear. What this story tries to explore is what happens to those monsters after the battle ends and before the next battle begins. And this scene, the monsters are kind of starting to get sick of this lifestyle of being thrown into battle after battle just to die over and over again. I have to describe the room. Okay, walks into a dark room. This is really bad writing right now. I'm just... when you're writing and you feel like, alright, that nothing is flowing. It's just I'm writing words on a page. And they're terrible words. Everything is dry and boring. The solution to that problem, at least I think, is to just keep writing. If it sucks, that's fine. We can fix it later. And of course, I have to scroll back up because I don't know where the conversation... This is a continuation of a conversation that happened in a prior chapter. And I have, of course, forgotten the conversation. You'll notice the brackets I'm using placeholders for all the names of the characters and the places. And that's so that it's easy for me to keep track of what's going on. I don't need to have a list of names to remember. I don't have to remember who's who. I can just look at their titles. The downside of this is I don't need to establish that Kobold 1 is a kobold because it's telling me this. So I got to make sure to remember that the reader is not going to see all of these generic name tags. So I need to establish, for instance, that Rat 1 is a rat, Spider 1 is a spider. This is another important thing that I'm trying to get better at. If I'm trying to make a point, but I just don't know quite how to say it, my instinct is to just sit there for 10 minutes trying to figure out what word I want to use, when what I should really do is just write whatever it is I'm trying to express. This is the kind of the point I'm trying to make. This is a really bad way of phrasing because it's really plain and generic, but I'll fix it later. This is only a draft. For too long. I hate that phrase, but I'm using it. Alright, who's in this? So I need to figure out who's in this room right now. So we have 2 rats, 2 boars, and 2 slimes, and 2 spiders. Let me actually just write that down. Here's another problem. You'll see in my notes, which I wrote before, back when my word count was like 4,000 or something. Boar 1 asks what the big deal is. Boar 2 says he's fine with this setup, so long as they have a roof over their head and food on his table. Since I've been writing this, Boar 1 clearly thinks this is a big deal, that they're forced into this lifestyle. Boar 2 does share the sentiment, but she's a girl. Here's another tip. I want to use the phrase "my 2 cents," but I don't know when that phrase was invented. And since this is supposed to be a medieval fantasy adventure, we'll check it out. Okay. Early cost of postage in England. Unsolicited opinion dates only to the mid-1920s. It is believed to be derived from Old English phrase of 16th century. Okay, here. So I can use this if it spawned in the 1500s. I can use this phrase. I was expecting them to be able to, but I can use a penny for your thoughts. So the point of this line is Boar 2 says, you know, we have a roof over our head and food on our tables, which is the same point that Kobold 2 made earlier. Now what I'm going to do is scroll up to see if Kobold 2 has made this point. Otherwise, my shapeshifter line makes absolutely no sense. When does Kobold 2 say roof? Wait, what? What? Oh, crap. Oh no, I think he said it's a good deal. Look, it's a good deal. Nope. It's a pretty good deal. We get free room and board. Okay, so here's where Kobold 2 made this point. See, it's basically the same thing that Boar 2 said. And this is chapter 7. I believe... Okay, so I have now confirmed that Kobold 2 has already made this point. Now this line can make sense. That's pretty good. Normally I prefer to just jump between chapter to chapter, and I can write whatever chapter speaks to me the most at the time. Maybe I want to work on the ending, maybe I want to work on the midpoint, maybe I want to work on the beginning of Act 3. I can, you know, hop around if I have a good outline. In this situation, I tried to just write a story without an outline, and it has allowed me to get stuff done faster, but here comes the problem. I have to keep referring back to what I've previously written because I didn't plan it all out in advance. The point Boar 2 is trying to make is Kobold 1's trying to rope these guys into a conspiracy, but he hasn't told them what they're actually going to get out of this conspiracy if it's successful. So I have to scroll all the way back to the prior conversation to make sure that Kobold 1 did not actually say what they're getting out of this conspiracy. Okay, here we go. Nobody's going to do anything to stop it, and I for one. So he was going to tell them, but he got interrupted. Okay, so I can have Boar 2 make this comment that why would they follow him in the conspiracy? It's been about 20 minutes. It hasn't crashed yet. That's pretty good. All right, what I'm looking for is a word that says, like, I can tell one boar from another by how they look. They don't all look the same. Why don't I just say that? Boars don't all look the same. Okay, so here we go. What I wanted to say is, let's just write it. Boars are not carbon copies of each other. But here we go. Carbon copy was invented in 1806, so it definitely wasn't around in the medieval period. So a character in a medieval fantasy adventure wouldn't make this comment because they wouldn't know what a carbon copy is. The other thing I haven't really established, and I'm debating whether I even want to establish this, is we have a table with a bunch of chairs, presumably, yet the participants are boars, spiders, rats, and slimes. I haven't really established how they got onto the chairs. I do establish later how slimes, actually. That's not true. But I'm just trying to picture a boar, a blob of slime, a rat, and a spider sitting on chairs around a table like some sort of board meeting. I might just leave it to the reader's imagination. When was this word invented? Conspiracy. Okay, if it's from Anglo-French, that's telling me it's from 1066 era. Good enough, and that is basically how my November was. Writing something, and then every 5 minutes I had to stop and look up whether a word existed in the Middle Ages. Okay, my timer said I started recording 35 minutes ago. This thing still hasn't crashed. I think I might have actually fixed it. I feel like mowed down is kind of a reference to a lawnmower, so let's just go ahead and search for the etymology of the word mow. Oh, to cut down with the scythe. Okay. I don't think the word mow means what I want it to mean. At least not in the Middle Ages. So we're actually going to go ahead and change this phrase. I want to say slaughter, but I don't want to say slaughter for some reason. Let's see if I can get a better word. Annihilate, bashing, defeat, drubbing, rout. Routed. How about that? A defeat attended with disorderly flight. Alright, so this will be Middle English. Well, I don't want to say routed because that's implying you're an escape. This is just you're getting... Let's go back to slaughter. Actually, why don't we just use the word slaughter? That's fine. I don't need to overcomplicate this. There we go. So I don't forget. Let's just add a little notation, and I'm actually going to make that red. I'm making it red so it stands out as something that I know I need to fix. I don't want it to be the kind of character that takes initiative, so I'm going to, instead of hoping to be a boss, I'm going to make him wish, because if there's hope there, is implying that, you know, you might actually do something. Is there even a second rat? Alright, well, let's put a second rat. Alright, so it's been almost 45 minutes. I think at this point I'm ready to call it. I have not received a single crash from Word, so I think we fixed it. Alright, I think actually the last thing I want to do is the most important thing. Let's make a backup of everything, and I think we can call this a success. Alright, thank you for sticking around for the video. I hope to see you again. Thank you.